In a world where political ideologies claim to stand for justice, why do some struggles get more support than others? Why does Free Palestine echo across campuses and protests, while Free Kashmir remains a whisper, or worse, a taboo? Today, we're unpacking a contradiction that runs deep in India's political psyche. Before we dive into the double standards, let's meet the torchbearers of justice, at least, as they define it. Who are these supporters, and what do they really stand for? The Indian liberal. Indian liberals are typically urban, educated, and aligned with values like secularism, free speech, and human rights. They often oppose majoritarianism and support causes that challenge state power, especially when it comes to global issues like Palestine. The Indian communist. Communists in India come from a tradition of class struggle, anti-imperialism, and workers' rights. They've historically supported self-determination for oppressed peoples, but their stance on Kashmir has often been more cautious than radical. Indian Muslims. Indian Muslims, as a religious minority, often find themselves navigating identity, nationalism, and solidarity. Many express strong support for Palestine, seeing it as a symbol of global Muslim resistance. But when it comes to Kashmir, the response is more complex, shaped by fear, surveillance, and political pressure. Let's break it down. Here's a chart comparing how these three groups approach issues like nationalism, self-determination, and resistance. Imperialism, what it is and why it matters. Imperialism is the domination of one group over another, politically, economically, or culturally. It's often used to describe foreign occupation, but it can also apply to internal colonization. In this video, we're exploring how imperialism shapes both the Palestinian and Kashmiri struggles. In Palestine, the oppressor is widely recognized as the Israeli state, backed by military power, settlements, and systemic discrimination. The oppressed are the Palestinian people, displaced, occupied, and denied sovereignty. In Kashmir, many argue that India plays the role of the oppressor through military presence, revoked autonomy, and suppression of dissent. The oppressed? Kashmiri civilians, who've endured decades of curfews, crackdowns, and political erasure. Major outlets like Al Jazeera, The Guardian, and Human Rights Watch regularly report on Israeli violations in Palestine. These sources are widely cited by Indian liberals, communists, and Muslim activists. Interestingly, these same platforms also report on Kashmir, highlighting human rights abuses, internet shutdowns, and militarization. Yet, the reaction from Indian progressives is often muted or defensive. Across India, mass protests have been held in solidarity with Palestine. From student groups to civil society, the support is vocal and visible. Flags, slogans, and social media campaigns flood the public space, but when those same sources speak about Kashmir, the response is different. There's hesitation. There's silence. Sometimes, there's outright denial. The same voices that chant Free Palestine often avoid Free Kashmir. This brings us to cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort of holding contradictory beliefs. Supporting freedom in one context while denying it in another creates a tension that many resolve through selective empathy or ideological gymnastics. Liberals. They may rationalize the contradiction by framing Kashmir as a national issue and Palestine as a foreign one, thus avoiding the moral conflict. Communists. Some acknowledge the contradiction but prioritize class struggle over ethnic or religious identity, sidestepping the Kashmir question. Many Muslims across India feel a deep sense of solidarity with the Kashmiri struggle, viewing it as a fight for dignity, autonomy, and justice, but expressing that support publicly is fraught with risk. In a climate where dissent is often equated with sedition, even peaceful advocacy for Kashmiri rights can lead to surveillance, arrest, or vilification. This forces many to suppress their convictions, creating a painful dissonance between what they believe and what they can safely say. The emotional weight of watching a cause they care about unfold in silence is heavy, and yet, their quiet solidarity persists, unseen but unwavering. Many self-proclaimed liberals, communists, And even Muslim intellectuals loudly champion global causes like Palestine, Black Lives Matter, or anti-imperialism, but when it comes to Kashmir, their voices often fall silent or become conveniently vague. The hypocrisy lies in their unwillingness to confront the Indian state's actions in Kashmir with the same moral urgency they apply elsewhere. Liberals who speak of human rights dodge the Kashmir issue to avoid being labeled anti-national. Communists who rail against state violence often treat Kashmir as a geopolitical inconvenience rather than a people's struggle. And Muslim leaders who passionately advocate for justice abroad frequently avoid Kashmir altogether, fearing backlash or legal consequences.